Hey everybody, it's Mucha Marapa from Matrix Global Media, and in this video what I wanted to do was discuss with you my website philosophy, for want of a better word. And I guess in a nutshell what I mean is that if we were ever given the privilege of putting a website together for you, these are the things that we think about that sort of create our sites. And interestingly enough, I don't believe that there has been one consistent area that I have been fired more about by clients than web design. And when I sit back and look a little closer now in hindsight, it's because I suppose for obvious reasons many clients wanted the sort of brand driven website that would look fantastic, and they'd seen another one like that in the same industry and said, let me do that. And we just agreed to disagree, basically. And when I think really detailed about it, even back to my sort of marketing consultancy days in travel and tourism and events, the one area I would constantly be at loggerheads with marketing departments of the organizations I was representing was with websites and web pages. Whenever I went ahead and put some pages together, they picked them apart because they didn't like this and that, and it was once again because I was really focused on the two main things that I look at, which are basically an ability to generate leads via a website. Number two is to establish a meaningful relationship based on goodwill, because once you've done that, you generate leads and you establish that initial relationship, you have a real opportunity to take things forward. So let me just highlight here, this is an original website for a client of ours, Moons Cycles, based here in Ipswich. And when you look at it, I mean, there's little wrong with it, one would think and one would say. And I suppose just for me coming in and wanting to put some direct response on our site, on our new site for Moons, I just needed to sort of tweak a few things. So let me just talk you through it. This was the original one here, and as you can see, some nice branded colors. It's got the range of bikes over here, which is sort of the library pictures given here. You move a bit further down here, there was some copy, there was the exterior photo of the shop, the showroom, for want of a better word. And if you move over onto here now, and let me just refresh the page so you can see it from the very start. This is the one that we have put together, and the reason why I refreshed it is that it starts with this sort of running slideshow, for want of a better word, of the product, but the product actually in the store, as opposed to catalog photographs of it. We worked very hard on that, but that's not actually where I'm starting here, because I think point number one, what we did and what we always try and do, is we install Google Analytics on your website. Now this ultimately is where the rubber hits the road, because you have an opportunity now to track where is the traffic coming from. Is it coming from social media, and if so, where on social media? What pages are they looking at? Now, because we have literally just launched the new site a day or two ago, there won't be any data on here, but when you look a little bit closer in here, this will tell you about people that have visited the sites. And what's really interesting as well is the traffic sources. Okay, so you'll have your traffic sources that you can look at as well. It can tell you, who has referred the traffic as well. So this is where you'd see LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, so on and so forth. So it can be really, really powerful, and we went ahead and we utilized Google Analytics there. Okay, so the next point that we really looked at doing here, and something that I believe very strongly on, is always utilizing this header space. If you look at any of the sites that we've put together, I mean, I've got my own sites here with websites for business one-page websites. We've got another one which is websites for small business. We always make sure that in this header space here we sort of explain, right, designing websites, microsites and landing pages that will now allow new customers to find you via the search engines and leave you with their email before they leave. It's a really bold statement, but that's what we try and do. So we believe very strongly in doing something with the header area. Now with here, this is almost like direct response 101, raw, in your face, but you know, I just sort of said, look, what can we do as soon as somebody comes to the page here, and we put win a free bike, okay, from Moons, and over here there's an ability to just go ahead and opt in. This was really, really important. Now with this header space, it doesn't always have to be something like this, but you've got to use this header space with something more than just putting a fancy logo in here and nothing else. Try and tell a story, or try and, you know, get them to do something, the people visiting, kind of like what we've done here. Now when we move further down here on the page, I sort of in an ideal world, and you'll see it with my own videos, I would have liked to have used video here, but I think given the fact that I had sort of, you know, got the owner, there he is there, Mike, great guy from Moons, to sort of go from doing very little to getting in front of the videos with the YouTube channels. I thought I was pushing my luck just a little bit too much on here. But what you want to use this area underneath the header for is, you know, if you can sort of put a homepage headline, you can put some video there, something that tells the story, in other words. So it doesn't necessarily have to be just, you know, a bunch of images like what we've done here, but you certainly want to have this as an impact place that can sit in comfortably underneath the headline here. And my first sort of priority, or my first option a lot of the time, would be video. One of the next areas that we really try and do with our websites is, again, as I spoke before, about capturing information. But where it gets interesting is I like to try and get as much different information as possible. So let me explain. Here we're saying win a free bike, 329 bike from Moons. So they'll put their names on here, and there is actually a list that we have created just for win a free bike and the main master list for Moons Cycles. Okay, now if you actually move over here to special offers, and we take a look at special offers here, we've got the special offers on the page, but we then say get our special offers straight to your inbox. So this is where, if anybody's looking for a bit of a deal, or they want a heads up when something becomes available, we will email them. So this is a separate list to that we have on the home page, and as you can see here, we've got it here again. So what we've basically got are two different lists, one for special offers and one for winning a bike or being on the main list. But where it gets even more interesting is on the workshop and repairs page here. Okay, and by the way, they have got a fantastic workshop and repairs department over there at Moons, but we've done it again. So now we've got a price list. Now this was very interesting, because when we go back to the original Moons Cycles website, when we look at workshop and repairs, originally all the prices and costs were on the page itself. Okay, so people could sort of just go down there, have a look, it'll be there, and then they could make a decision on what they wanted to do. But what I decided to do was actually create this as a PDF. Okay, so we would put everything down here in the PDF. And so downloading the price list. Now originally we were sort of umming and ahhing. Do we say, look, do we give a 10% discount on your first repair or something else like that? And then collectively what we've decided to do, and we're in the process of doing it now, is we're actually going to put together some really highly valuable information that will be along the lines of, you know, 10 ways to look after your bike, or 10 things that can go wrong on your bike. You know, something that again is just adding such value, but it is relevant to this page. You know, it's relevant to the whole servicing and the workshop and repairs. So we've got an opt-in list on this page. Then, as we discussed, we've got win a free bike. This is another one. And then of course we had the one for special offers. And I think the really important thing that we've done as well, because feel free to go on any of these pages and you'll see how it all works. We're just sort of tidying up this one about the workshop and repairs, but certainly with the other two, there is a follow-up email which confirms why you signed up and sort of discusses whether it's winning the free bike or whether it's the special offers, because that's really, really important. Okay, And then in line with what we said about this here, we really want to create valuable information on this website, okay, really valuable. And that's when we move over to the blog here. Now, we haven't yet done any entries here, but the blog is going to be the sort of real resource center. This is where Moon Cycles, and Mike in particular, will position himself as a really trusted advisor. This is where, we've had some really good chats about some topics that I think people will really appreciate reading about and learning. Another thing that we look on here in this day and age of social media, we've been quite sort of understated by putting the icons, and these are the links to the various sort of Moon Cycles social media cluster, for want of a better word. But what I want to draw to your attention is these things down here, because these allow you to sort of like the page while not moving from the website. Because the big thing is, I always say that social media is rented space. It has a massive role to play. But what I want to also make sure people do is I want them to stay here. I want them to come to the blog and get some information. So on a lot of the pages on this site, we've got a simple follow button, and again, you will not leave the website in order to follow Moons, and likewise to like as well, you can do that. So those are really, really important. Now, on some of my own sites, what I've got, one of the most important things that you can put on your website is testimonials, our testimonials. So as you can see, I've been very fortunate to work with some wonderful people who've said some incredibly kind things about me, and that's really, really great. The original Moon's website did not have any testimonials, and it kind of really stood out for me whenever I went to their website, to the Facebook page or other areas. People just had such kind things to say about the company, as they do for most companies for that matter. So what we did here, and I changed it around a little bit, I didn't want to necessarily emulate what I had done on my own page, and sometimes it's a lot of trial and error and testing, but we went ahead and we put a Facebook comments plugin on here. So as you can see now, we've got a lady who has gone ahead and she has actually commented on here. Now the beautiful thing about this is that she'll come on here and she'll say some very kind things about Moon Cycles, alright? But this will show on the Moon's Cycles fan page, but it'll also show on her own page, so all her friends and family will see that as well. So that's what we've decided to do here. But whether you do it this way or whether you do it the other way like this, you must have testimonials on your website. And then finally, I would like to sort of just show that it's very important to provide links from other social media outlets to your site. And I've mixed it up a little bit. As you can see here, this will go to the special offers page. This is on their Facebook page. Over here with Twitter, we've gone to Moon Cycles Ipswich /win a bike. Okay, so really, and this is where the Google Analytics will really kick in a fantastic way. And then also on the YouTube channel, we've just got the link to the standard home page there on the Moon Cycles. So there's a lot to take on, but here is the sort of summary in a nutshell what I've been speaking to you about. Number one, install Google Analytics. Okay, you've got to be able to track which pages people are coming from, which pages they are looking at when they get to your page as well. This is so important. Utilize the header space. Put something up there, not just leave a logoed header with nothing else. Either write a message or use it as an opt-in. On the home page, underneath that header space, use a compelling headline, video, images, copy, but whatever you decide to put there, make it something that communicates the relief, the solutions, the benefits, the transformations, the results that your product provides. Use more than one opportunity to opt in. Be creative with this, right? Be creative. Make sure that that on a few pages there are a few different things, and this is where you'll need to get something like a MailChimp or a Aweber, Constant Contact, Infusionsoft. There are lots of them. GetResponse, so many of them. But have more than one opportunity to take an email address and be radically generous. I mean, this fella here is giving a bike away, for £329. On my own sites, what I've tried to do, let's try and find this. I think on our websites for the small business, we've done a £100 coupon. So for websites that sort of coming in at I've got to work out my prices here, but you've got £100 off your first website purchase. You just go ahead and, surprise surprise, there's a place that you can go ahead and you can download the information. On this site here, I've got direct response marketing free training. So again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a £390 thing or 329 or £100 off something. If you can provide some information that's going to really benefit them, put that on your site. Okay, provide at least one follow-up email. You must keep that feel-good factor once somebody has really put themselves out to give you their email address. Create at least one form of valuable information relative to your offering. So if you remember with Mike, what we're doing is we're going to use that price list of the workshop and repairs to say, look, these are the ways that you can really fix and maintain a bike in good order. Include a blog. That's your resource center. That's what can really position you to show that you know your stuff. Okay, and then direct traffic from social media and from other places to your blog. Provide Facebook, Twitter, like or follow buttons, etc. Google, it will be the plus ones. YouTube, subscribe buttons. Testimonials. You must have testimonials. You must have testimonials. And finally, we say provide links to your site, blog from your social media cluster. So much as we've done here, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, and also if you're on YouTube, make sure that you go ahead and you provide opportunities for people to go ahead and find your website. So I hope that has helped. Again, as always, it's been a bit of a long drawn out one, but I just wanted to explain because, as I said, it really has caused trouble over the last sort of year and a half with this, because this is the philosophy that I have. This is how we try and create our sites. And I do also want to just say thanks to people who have really impacted how I go about doing this. One is my old friend Wes Gillespie from AgMammy. I've known Wes for a long time, and he used to put all my original websites together. And Wes was a marketer who learned how to design websites, and I suppose that's very much like I did. And he did some fantastic stuff, and years before everybody else sort of really cottoned on to a lot of this stuff, certainly on a design aspect. And the second one has got to be my dear old teacher now, not my dear old one, but my dear teacher, Eileen Lonergan. Fantastic lady. She's out there in Boston. If you just go to eileenlonergan.com, you will find her, I'm sure, who's just taught me so much, particularly relative to WordPress, and so much of the sort of abilities to create all these sort of lead generation furnaces. So thanks to those two, and thanks to you for watching this video. And I do hope that if you would like us to put together either a one-page site for you or a few more pages, you know where to find us, but more importantly, you know how we now think. So thanks for that, and we look forward to speaking to you again very soon.